I'm Mark Sponsler from StormSurf.com. Here's the surf forecast for the week starting Wednesday, June 28th for the Hawaiian Islands. Brought to you by your surf authority, expert advice, and friendly staff, Hawaiian South Shore. So first off, we're going to talk about swell. That is hitting the Hawaiian Islands right now and bigger than expected. Interesting topic here. All right, we're looking at Barbers Point buoy, south shore of Oahu. You see energy anywhere from 18 seconds down to 11 seconds with individual bits of height in the about 1.5 foot at any single period line. But if you add it all together, we go down to the bottom here, pure swell, let's say 3 feet at 14.5 seconds. That surf height, roughly 4 foot Hawaiian. That'd be 8 feet on the face. That's maybe a little bit overstated, but I'd say 2 feet overhead is probably a good estimate of what surf size is right now at top spots, maybe 3 feet overhead at top spots. All right, now the question is, the forecast that we made said waves would only be 1 foot overhead. What makes the difference? So first off, we're going to look at the storm that generated the swell. Here we are back Tuesday, June 21st. New Zealand's there. A gale developed southeast of New Zealand. Seas at one point here were up to 37 feet. And then the gale redeveloped. You see it right here as we get later into Tuesday. That was a week ago. With seas in about 27 or maybe 28 foot range, but mainly 27 feet, aimed pretty well north at the Hawaiian Islands. Now here's where things get really interesting. We're zooming in on that gale on Tuesday, and these tracks here are the Jason 3 satellite passing directly over the storm, beaming a radar beam down at the ocean surface, and that in turn can identify how high the seas actually were in the storm. Remember, this is a model. It's a computer's best guess at what sea heights were. This is dead ground truth, actual data here. If you look at there, you can see purples. Purples are in the 30-foot range. We actually can decode this and say the average measurement over a 15 reading right in here, average, was 32.4 feet, with an individual reading here up to 35.4 feet, where the model said seas were like 27, 28 feet. And then 12 hours later, as the gale was fading, we got another satellite pass over an outer fringe of the storm where seas were supposed to be 24, maybe 25 feet. And right here you see seas were averaging 28.8 feet with one reading to 32.9 feet. So what that means is one set of data, the model, said seas were 27 feet. Ground truth data said seas were 32 feet. What do you do to build a surf forecast? Which set of data do you use, or do you go somewhere in between? Our standard approach is we take the more conservative route. That is, we'll undercall it on purpose, knowing that it could be a little bit bigger, but not wanting to overhype it. Last thing we like to do is you get your hopes set up for big pumping surf, and you get there, and it's not big and pumping. The flip side of that is, if you're new to the surf game, and you show up and you think it's only going to be chest high, and it's bigger than you thought, well, then you can be in a little bit of trouble. But in general, in this business, we try to err on the conservative side, with the assumption that don't get people overhyped versus overhyping everything and then leaving people disappointed. But clearly, the swell developed larger than expected, with, again, surf at top spots in the early part of the swell and even into today, maybe a foot or two. We said highest waves would be a foot overhead, 3 foot Hawaiian, 6 foot faces, and they were more like in the 8 foot range. So we'll call that we undercalled it for sure, and we know why. Maybe that's a learning moving forward. Real quickly, looking at the forecast moving forward, we're just looking at significant wave heights for the South Pacific Ocean. We're late on Wednesday, the 29th of June, continuing into Friday, Saturday, and then on Sunday, theoretically, some sort of low-pressure system is supposed to start developing under New Zealand, and then with secondary energy, maybe bigger on Tuesday, pushing to, about 34 feet. So there's some hope way out on the models. It's still a bit to go. We typically don't believe the models even 4 days out, much less a week out, but there is hope, so we're keeping our fingers crossed. So to take a quick look Details, starting Wednesday, the 29th of June, Central South Pacific swell, 2.3 feet at 14 seconds early. That'd be 3 to 3.5 feet. That would be Hawaiian, so maybe 2 feet overhead at top spots. We think this is pretty close to reality, and trues up. Swell direction 185 degrees. On Thursday, the 30th, the swell definitely starts fading from 1.8 feet at 13 to 14 seconds. So 2 to 2.5 foot Hawaiian. We'll say head high, maybe a little bit more at top spots on the best sets. And by Friday, the swell really starts fading out. 1.3 feet at 13 seconds. That'd be 1.5 foot Hawaiian. So waist high, chest high peaks, the best spots. And after that, things really settle down, other than maybe wind swell on the east shore. But we know longer term, perhaps another gale is to form in the South Pacific. So, solid swell, still hitting the South Shore, make the best of it. Swell supposed to continue into one more day, then slowly trickle down. For expert surfers, you're in good shape, at least for another day. For beginner surfers or intermediates, pick your locations wisely, be safe, get some waves, have fun, but don't get in over your head. Long term, things will settle down for a while, and then maybe we're back in the money about 2 weeks out. We'll have to watch that. All right, that's it for this week. I'm Mark Sponsler from StormSurf.com, and be sure to do all your shopping at Hawaiian South Shore. Expert advice and friendly service. We'll do this again on Friday. Thanks for watching.